Hi, everyone, and welcome to the pre-launch webinar for our partners for something super exciting, which is coming up, which is our Entrepreneur 5.0 launch. So welcome, first of all. I'm going to share with you where to go, where to post as I am sharing. My goal is to share within 30 minutes everything you need to know about what we're up to and what we're doing. And the different ways you can come in and be a part of this as well, because we have some announcements which you're going to be hearing for the first time on this course. So make sure you stay for the full 30 minutes. We're going to aim to do it in 30 minutes, and then we're going to have another 10 minutes where we're going to be just answering questions on all the chat afterwards for all of you as well. Here's where I'm going to ask you to go, all right? So first of all, let me just share my screen, and you will see here two things. First one is on, oops, here we go. First of all, on our Entrepreneur Mastermind group, and I've also posted it in the partners group, you'll see there's a link here where it says follow this link, and it will take you through to the webinar, right? And if you actually go here to the link, it takes you through to GeniusU, and we're actually on here, the Leader Circle, right? So this is the Leader Circle, and you'll see down here we have got the post, and I'm just gonna write here, hi, or questions below, and do post who you are or where you are, because you're obviously going to know who you are when you post, right? Where you are in the world right now. I would love to see your posts and comments, and know that you're on here following us at the moment, and do go ahead and continue to post comments. We do have the team that are going to also be following in on this as we're going through this as well. And I also want to just share that this has already been one of the most exciting pre-launches, even though we haven't even actually launched the launch yet, that we have had in terms of the number of different people who have come in to join us from all over the world. So we have at this point just invited partners to be a part of this. And I'm just gonna kind of like mention a few different people that we have from all over the world. We have got a lot of people who are our partners in, obviously, where we already do a lot of events, like in the UK, in the US, in Australia, in Japan, in Thailand, but we also, New Zealand, we also have got some people I saw on here. We have Donald and Damaxo from Botswana. We've got obviously quite a few from Czech Republic. We have got on Cyprus. We have got now also a number of people like Annette from Germany, Samuel from Ghana. We have quite a lot from India. Anne is here, Anne Wilson from Ireland. And then we also have got some more African countries. We've got Marimi, who's in from Kenya. We've got El Mohammed from Morocco. We've got quite a lot from Netherlands and from Mexico as well. You can tell I'm going through this in alphabetical order here. We've got Desade Teba from Nigeria. We've got Karen from Norway. Marissa from Philippines. We have Poland. We have Qatar. That's Mag in Qatar, so hi there. We've got Denisa from Slovakia. We've got a lot of different places in Europe here. We've got Vanessa in Spain, and we've got Akechi from Trinidad, and then Hatem from the UAE, and so it goes on, right? I've just got down to you at this point. But basically what I'm excited about is the fact just this is such a global launch in what we're doing, and you're going to hear why I think it's actually captured so many people's imagination already. So let me just share with you the slides and the things that we have planned, and the way that we would love you to be involved in what I think is going to be the most exciting 6 months to the end of not just this year, but a decade, because we are coming up to the end of 2019 and into 2020. So here we go. Here's my screen again, and we're going to jump right into this. And like I said, do post if you haven't gone to that link. If you haven't found the link, by the way, just on any of the Facebook groups, because you're not on the Facebook groups for any reason, you can just go to GeniusU and just search for leaders, and you're just looking for the leader circle. It pops up right to the front because it's the big one with like thousands of people on it. And then of course you can just click and go in there, and then you see all the comments in there as well. And I'll show you that again halfway through when we see all the people that are on there as well. So here we go. First of all, let me share with you what we have already gone out with and what it is that you have already seen, right? So obviously, the way that you got to this webinar most likely is that you clicked on the page we invited you to. We have only just invited, at this point, our partners and some of our VIPs to be involved in what we're doing at the moment. So we obviously invited you via this webinar link to come onto this webinar. And we also have this page that we opened up just a week ago, which has brought all the interest in already, which is our partner pre-registration. And this one is something you don't have to do anything at all to already have all these things here that we have mentioned, because you're already in it, right? Which means that we're going to already be sending you all the emails to send out, all the information on the inside. So this year, earning up to 4,800 per customer, because we have like double commissions going from May through to July because of the way we're launching the Entrepreneur 5.0, being on the inside of the launch, which is exactly where you're at right now, and the way we're going to launch the training plan, which is free of charge. So you're going to get all that as well. And also this big competition we have. We have a trip to India, Nepal, and Tibet coming up later this year. We have the Tokyo Olympics next year. You know, the Tokyo Olympics tickets aren't even on sale yet. They are for people in Japan, but not for people overseas. But we're already in that queue. So we're like ready, right? And I'm going to tell you why that's so important in a moment. And also with all the different leadership opportunities because of what's going to happen next decade, we have all those too. So if for any reason you have not been to this page, you can, the link is here, and the team will drop that link into the chat as well, so you can actually see that. And this already explains a little bit about what Entrepreneur 5.0, which I'm going to go into much more detail in a second, why we're doing this, the reason that we have so many people already excited to be a part of it as well, and then what the steps are that someone who actually takes the free test can then go through to then really get 2020 ready, and the way that the world is changing, and the structure in terms of how we as a community are really getting ready for this change as well, right? So this has all this information in here and the big things that you already get just by already being a partner, right? So you don't have to do anything at all off this other than listen, and you already are going to be part of this program. However, on this call, I'm going to be sharing a number of other things that you might get kind of excited to be a part of with us as well. So first of all, here is the reason that we're even doing Entrepreneur 5.0. What has worked in the last 10 years, email marketing, social media, digital marketing, is no longer working the same way. So I've been seeing a lot of different programs out there at the moment on how to be an influencer, on how to go and perfect your email marketing, on how to do Facebook advertising, on how to build a community. In fact, we ourselves have been talking about that the last couple of years. This is not that dissimilar to what happened in the year 1999, which was 20 years ago, when everyone was talking about .com. This was just before the .com bust, if you remember. There was no social media in those days, right? Everyone was thinking about just getting a website up. And we saw what happened to most of those companies and the ones that were following those strategies at that point. If you go just 10 years ago, which was in 2009, no one was really talking about optimizing for YouTube. There was very little Facebook advertising. Facebook itself wasn't really doing anything on mobile at that point because the iPhone had just come out, right? So like smartphones were just getting started in those days. And so what was everyone talking about? They were talking about SEO. They were talking about blogging, right? So the things that people were talking about at that point like became redundant in the next 10 years after we then saw the growth of totally new companies that didn't even exist 10 years earlier. Companies like Airbnb, companies like Uber started actually showing up, which were very, very different from those online companies. And then we're seeing this massive growth in these different tools, which all, again, while they still work to some degree, are out of date as a result of the shifts that are taking place and what's going to happen over the next 10 years. So what are we heading towards and what do we need? So we're living in an age where it isn't possible to keep up with the pace of change and face the world's greatest challenges unless we lock new superpowers. Like we are 100% seeing around the world that it is now necessary if we want to go out and solve the world's challenges. It's now necessary, even if we just want to keep our own business going, that we need to do it in a very, very different way. And the truth is there's already people out there who are unlocking their superpowers, right? Here is Jeff Bezos in 1999. Here's Jeff Bezos 2019, 20 years later. And we can see the massive difference of when he was just starting Amazon, right? This is his office where he actually made his own desk. And now he's basically wandering around with robots. In fact, you know, Amazon has more robots working for them than they have people, right? So things have massively changed. And we're about to see this huge new sweep in voice, in artificial intelligence, in augmented reality, in robotics, in 5G, where we are fundamentally going to see a transformation of how we are going to be connected to each other, which isn't going to require a mobile phone to be looking at, where everything we're going to get is going to be real-time data, where our ability to be able to access whatever we want, whoever we want, whenever we want, is going to be unprecedented. And as a result of that, our ability to then, number one, be able to move at a far faster speed to be able to connect with all the resources we need is not just going to give us superpowers, But for those who don't have those superpowers or who aren't using them in the right way, and this already is starting, right? Like the number one way for you to now do your marketing is via chatbots, for example, right? The number one way for you to do SEO is by using AI assistants. And most people today aren't using them. And the ones who are the ones who are winning. So it's about what are those very latest tools that you don't have to wait 5 years to make, but you can do today, which is going to make that difference. So how do we frame all of this? And the way we can frame it is with the reason we're doing Entrepreneur 5.0, what the Japanese have already done, which is to come up with a word to describe this new world we're going to go into, which they call Society 5.0. This is part of their entire global plan for world domination all over again for Japan. But the Chinese are using this as well. And the likes of people like Masayoshi-san are the ones that are now investing heavily. His future fund, where he's already gone out, raised $100 billion, and he's now raising another $100 billion, is to invest in these 5.0 companies. And as you can read here, this is about how they are seeing that this is our ability to not just go out there and improve our own businesses and be competitive. It's about our ability to go out and actually solve the world's problems, where they're linking all this to the Sustainable Development Goals, which is obviously everything that we talk about as well. And here's a diagram which shows the four different societies we've been in so far, which is why we're now Society 5.0. And each one of these is a technological shift that took place from hunter-gatherer through to agrarian, through to industrial to information. So we're going from industrial age to information age to impact age, right? Like impact age is where we're not all trying to chase the information because we've already got it, right? In the same way, we weren't all trying to chase the electricity because we already had it. And so we're going through this phase where in the same way, you could say in the very, very early days, there was a very big difference of an electric company, compared to a manual company. Eventually, every company was electric. But then there's a difference of a digital company or an online company compared to an offline company. But now we're getting to a point where all companies are digital, right? So it's about that shift that happens when you're not trying to make a distinction between one or the other. And you'll see that the even flow of information and the way the Japanese are looking at this is rather than thinking about us being separate from the cloud, we're directly connected in with all this information out there. So effectively, there's a digital layer on everything, which means the way you run your business is not, should I go online or offline? It's how do I really serve the customer in an effective way using all the latest tools? And how do I make sure I am up to date with all those latest tools as I go as well? So this article came out in TechCrunch earlier this year, which says Japan Society 5.0 initiative is a roadmap for today's entrepreneurs. Now, where can you find out about Society 5.0? In fact, the media isn't really picking up on this that much anymore, or so far. But you can see down here, the G20 Summit, which is actually happening this June the 28th, which is why we're launching the Entrepreneur 5.0 training course on exactly the same day, June the 28th, is where they're using this concept of Society 5.0 as the main theme for the G20. So all the world's people, the leaders like Putin, Trump, like all of them are going to be there in Japan, and they're all going to be hearing about this. We're one step ahead. We're already like thinking about how do we become, how do we unlock our superpowers through this process of Entrepreneur 5.0. And as you can expect with myself as a futurist, I've spent all my time over the last 6 months really looking at how we get ourselves 2020 ready by knowing the difference of what an Entrepreneur 4.0 is compared to an Entrepreneur 5.0. If we were to caricature an Entrepreneur 4.0, it would be someone like a Mark Zuckerberg, where he's under so much criticism because his entire business is trying to take people online and use their data in ways that aren't relevant or that impact them negatively, potentially, in their offline world, right? So there's this kind of decision we're having to make: do I go offline? Do I go online? And all these challenges around screen time and data use, we're seeing that everywhere. Whereas an Entrepreneur 5.0 company is more like a Jeff Bezos, where he's buying over Whole Foods. He's looking at real world companies using a digital layer that he's created at Amazon. We do the same thing with GeniusU. We're saying, look, GeniusU is not there to just go online. It's there for you to have a mentor, to go to an event, which is an offline experience, but you're using GeniusU as a way to augment that offline experience. So a very, very different way of thinking. An influencer is someone where it's all about their online persona. An integrator is someone where you can meet them and they're genuine and it's all about what they're doing offline and integrating all parts of their life. And then they're using online as a way for them to then get out and reach more people. So it's a very, very different way where you're not starting with what's my brand. You're really starting with, well, what's my authentic identity? And so it continues in all these different areas. So why this is so important is most of us are still using all the 4.0 strategies and they're already getting out of date, even though we just learned them in the last 10 years. And so what we're doing with our Entrepreneur 5.0 is saying, here's the distinction of what you might be chasing. Like, for example, we are heading for a downturn. And if you're spending all your time focusing at growth at every cost, then you're definitely going to end up just like the .com companies disappearing because you're not going to be sustainable. If on the other hand, you're more like a zebra than a unicorn, where it's about sustainability, you're making cash flow, you're making profit. Yes, you're growing, but it's more about the quality than the quantity. Then you're going to actually sustain this next downturn coming, and you're going to be ready for the next 10 years. So we have to almost do the things that were our winning formula over the last couple of years, and now do the opposite, where those winning formulas become losing formulas. And as you all know, that's the thing that I specialize on most, is spotting these trends before they happen and getting us ready for them. So by being our partner and inviting people to come in and get this free 5-day program, you're helping them to get ready for 2020. And then I'm going to show you how it also is something that can be profitable for you, because as you know, we don't do anything that isn't a profitable promotion, because that's the first way to make sure you're doing something sustainable. So whereas Entrepreneur 4.0 had choices they had to make, you know, are you going to be an employee or employer? Are you going to, even if you are going to be an employer, like if you're going to be an entrepreneur, are you going to be building a tech startup, or a social, are you going to be a social entrepreneur, or are you going to be a digital nomad? So we used to have 3 different areas where you're going to be online, you're going to be offline. Well, as an Entrepreneur 5.0, you can both create a job, right? And you're actually helping others get a job as well. You're both an employee and an employer. You're also being able to make money, right? Make a difference and live your best life all together, which is income, impact, and insight. So fundamentally, it's about, well, how do I actually have my lifestyle, making a difference in the world, knowing myself, and actually having a scalable business? How do you do all of them together? Because it's different from most of the businesses out there that are actually doing one at the expense of another one. And so it's insight, it's impact, it's income, but it's also high touch and high tech, because that's what augmented reality voice allows us to do. It's helping us live a better life offline, but using online to do it. So there's 5 different elements which actually make up the Renaissance man and woman today. And those 5 different elements then link into the 5 different days, where on every one of the days of the 5-day course, which is going to start on June 28th, we are going to be giving the first 5 steps on each one of these. So super simple. I'm going to be putting a video together. We're going to actually take people through a process where during these 5 days, you're going to get all the basics of what you need to be able to really make sure that you are designing an enterprise 5.0 for this next 10 years. So like super high and original value, which no one really is talking about the same way we're talking about it, but it's information everyone needs to know. So the first thing is we're going to be running this 5-day course, but it doesn't stop there. For everyone who comes in and does that 5-day course, and we're basically aiming for 20,000 people to be a part of this. Now, as you know, we already have about 1,000 people a day who are coming into our community. So it's not going to be a problem getting those 20,000 people. But the more of the right people we have come on board, the better, which is why we're wanting to work with as many partners as possible. You've got here the program. Okay. I actually am. So, so we have here. I'm actually in the office in Singapore at the moment. Here's my view. If you're wondering, I'm actually talking about a 5.0 city. This is Singapore. The view today from our office here. And our team's all just coming in because it's the beginning of the workday. So here, let me go back to my screen again. Okay, so here is, first of all, the, here we go. Here, first of all, is the steps where we're in the pre-launch now. We're going to be launching on May the 21st, which isn't too far away now. We're going to be then having a good 5 weeks before the actual 5.0 course starts. So we're going to be having about 4,000 people a week who are going to be joining the program during this time. And during all of this, we'll be sending you the emails with your own links to be able to send out to your community to come and join us on that as well. And at the end of the 5 days, we're going to give people the opportunity to then continue for another 7 days, right? So the whole goal here is that if those who come on the 5 days get really good value, then we're going to have a percentage of them who will stay on for 7 days. And they're going to be upgrading at $97 into not just getting that 7-day accelerator program where we put it all into action over 7 days. So it's 12 days in total on our micro degree. And we're using all the Genius U tools to do this, by the way. But at the end of that, they've also then got the opportunity to come in and start playing the second world game. So we played the first world game last year. That was our first out of 12, because by the 12th one, we're going to be hitting 2030. And so we've got this next decade that we're going to be running 10 of these. This is the last one of this decade. And we're going to go from 1 million giving impacts, which we hit last year, to 10 million giving impacts this year. And then after we finish the, as we go through the world game, which is from July the 12th through to January the 1st, we're going to then be having our countdown, our competitions. We're going to have events. We're going to have training, which I'm going to share with you in a moment as to how that works as well. So if this sounds already like an exciting process to go through, and I'm going to explain exactly what a citizen gets in a moment, and what we're going to be doing with everyone who comes on board. And the reason this is more than just us giving value to everyone, we're looking for our next level of leaders. Let me share with you a way that you can get involved as a partner in addition to what I've just shared here. And so over the next 10 minutes, as I'm going into more detail on the Citizen, you can already take action if you'd like to by following the link that we're going to be giving to you on the drop down below. So here is what I'm going to be sharing with you. Something which is called our Global Sponsor Invitation. This is not for all, like we at the moment have got already over 300 partners that have come on board, right? So this is not all for all partners, but we're looking for 30 of you who want to have a relationship with us in this program, very similar to what we already do on our events. So many of you know that the way we run our Entrepreneur 5.0, well, the new Entrepreneur 5.0 events, but the way that we have been running our Entrepreneur Fast Track events, our Global Entrepreneur Summit events, is that we bring all of our partners on board, and they all have the opportunity to be a sponsor within our programs as we run them as well, right? So for example, if I was to go, let's just say I go look for London Entrepreneur 5.0, you'll see here that this event, which is coming up very shortly in London, it's coming up next week actually. We've got a whole bunch of these events happening around the world that you'll see on here, that when you look and find the information on the event, we have all these partners, right? And every one of these partners basically have got 10 tickets where they themselves are bringing their best people to come and join us and get value out of the event as well. And we also have got our top sponsors who happen to be ourselves, right? So what we are doing with this is the very first time we're taking a global launch. And what we're doing with it is we are providing a similar sponsorship opportunity, which is far greater than even what we do at events. So this link here, which we are going to be posting down below, so you can follow this link, you will find, if you go in the chat, I'll show you where that is in a moment. You'll see that on here, right? We basically are inviting you to come and join us as either a platinum or a gold partner. And we actually are looking for those of you who already are our city leaders or already our event partners who are coming on board to do this, so that we can actually take all your best stuff and offer it to those who are already coming on board and being part of our 5-day course, and also through the next 6 months as well. So as one of our sponsors, right, already as one of our partners, you're already getting all of this value that's coming on board, right? And that includes, right, basically, as this partner should say sponsor, right? But basically what you're getting is you're getting the global sponsorship from $290, which is the same price that we charge to get wholesale rates on our tickets. So this is similar, you're getting $290 to get 10 Citizen places. And if you're going for platinum, you get 30 Citizen places. Every one of those, and you can either sell them on to others at $97, which means that 10 is worth $970, or you can give them to the people you really want to have, who are going to have the experience of being a Citizen. We're going to basically have those people who are going to be on, as our first 30, on our branding. So you're going to be on our site, just like you saw on the event site. We also want everyone to know about you and the things that you have to offer, because the Citizens are going to have perks and discounts on all of the products that the sponsors are going to be giving to us. So it's going to be our products that people get discounts on. It's going to be your products and the discounts you'd like to give people. So that's going to direct traffic directly to you as well. You're going to get your branding and logo on all of our material that we send out on the website. And we're going to be running calls that you can then be a part of, just like we have with our events. And we're going to treat this as one massive global event that you're part of. I'm going to come back to what you get at Citizen level, right? So you can see what the Citizens are getting. But if you come down to here, you'll see the platinum sponsor for the 30 Citizen, which is 2,910 is the value of this, you're getting for 750. And we're really only going to get 5 platinum sponsors, right? So we're really limiting the number of people that are at platinum level. And they're the ones that are at the top. They're the ones that are first in our Citizen book, the first that are we're going to be providing with discounts. And of course, you're getting affiliate fees and everything, just like all the other partners. And you're getting, as you can see here, all of the different material that the Citizen is getting, as well as basically a company listing on our company page, and all of the other tools and bits and pieces that you'll read here. And similarly on the gold sponsor, that's more like 10, and we're getting 25 of our gold sponsors that we're also listing up here as well. Now we've had events where we've already got like 20, sponsors that are part of it. So I really believe that these are going to go pretty quickly, and then we can then spend our time just really helping and focusing on those sponsors, because obviously if we have 30 people coming on board, that's already going to give us our first 400 Citizens that are coming on board. And we're really only looking for 2,000 Citizens out of 20,000 people coming in for the training that are going to actually be going up to the citizen level, and we're going to be working with. And of course, those citizens then will be doing more with us as well. So that's basically what our global sponsorship is all about. Now, you don't have to do this if you're just one of our partners, but if you'd like the idea of actually really getting the most out of this promotion and being of most value to those who come in, then we'd love to have you as a part of this, and then we can then actually work with you and all the other sponsors on making sure we have all the packaging right for you as well. So let's come back here to what does a citizen get, right? So when, first of all, someone comes into the training and they're walking through this process where they're just going to get the free training. We expect most people to do the training and they're not really going to want to do more with us because they just want the free material, which is absolutely fine. And they're going to get the course. They're going to get basically the ability to be part of our competition and a chance to, you know, be part of the Tokyo Olympics with us when we take a whole group out to the Tokyo Olympics. And that's where the Japanese government are going to be demonstrating just what it is to live in Society 5.0. For those who decide they want to pay the extra $97, which is a very low price for what's going to be a 6 months activity with us, what they're going to be getting is they're going to be getting not just the things that you already get, these first two, for free, but we're going to be giving out a citizen handbook, which is going to be, this is why we're calling it citizen. Now, if you're a leader at the moment, when we're rechanging the name leader to citizen. So in Genius U, you've got member level, you've got citizen level, then you've got mentor level. And so the citizens will have a handbook saying, here's how you become a global citizen. And this is how you should be looking at your life in the next 10 years by thinking globally as opposed to thinking just locally. Affiliate earnings, daily paid commissions, these are all things that we'll be doing with you to make sure that we're really making an example of just how much you know, everyone who's coming in as a citizen is able to then spread the word about Genius U as well. They're getting a citizen card, which is going to have discounts. This is going to be basically a virtual card on your phone where when you come to Genius Cafe, when you come to any of our partners, you can say, here's my card, I'm a citizen, or I'm a mentor if you're a mentor level, and it's got its own QR code, and you can basically be identified wherever you go to get all the discounts you want to get. And we're going to be building now all of those different specials for people to be recognized as global citizens around the world. So think of it like an entrepreneur passport. We also are going to be doing 6 monthly webinars all the way from July to the end of the year, which are going to link to how do you become 2020 ready. And so each one of them is going to be one of the 5 steps in more detail, and then a final one to wrap it all up together. We're giving a citizen dashboard, which is going to show people how much they're earning and how much they're paying if they want to play the game, especially the world game. And then they're also able to set up their own company listing, set up their own private circles, set up their own private events. So very, very different from mentor level. It's for people to do learning in groups more than them to be the ones that are teaching. And the discount vouchers are going to be on even our programs that are going to be part of that as well. So you're getting all of this basically for $97, plus, of course, the 5 days moving to the full 12-day. So you're getting that full 7 days extra workshop. In itself, I think it's going to be super high value that people are going to want to be continuing at that point when we offer that as well. So imagine the people you have that might want to be citizens. Who would you invite to come and be a part of this? And then let me share with you, well, how do you actually make money out of this as a partner? Well, the way it works is that as people come through and join our launch community, and obviously we've done this before, right? We had over 20,000 people join us for our Entrepreneur Mentor certification that we ran 2 years ago. We had the same number join us last year for the World Game, right? So basically we know how to go out and get 20,000 people to be part of what we're doing. What we're doing different this time is by actually getting everyone engaged into what's happening towards 2020. We're giving people a chance also to have calls with us as to how we can guide them too. And from that, we're going to find new city leaders. We're going to find new people who are going to be our flow consultants. We're going to find new people who are going to want to be part of our mentoring programs and part of our retreats. And so people will choose to upgrade in whatever works well for them. And you're getting 20% on anything anyone decides to do. So if someone decides the highest level mentoring working with me, that's already $4,800 off the back of someone saying, that's what I want to do off the back of it, right? And even if they come to one of our events, like they come to the London event or they come to the Brisbane event, and they decide during this period that they want to do that, you're still getting that double percentage, right? So this really is something that is going to be kickstarting the rest of the year for your own earnings and for your community, as well as them really getting support and working with us as well. And you don't have to do any of this work yourself in terms of making sales or in terms of getting people excited to buy. Right? We basically will just take the ones who really want to do something and give them a simple, easy way for them to step up towards it. And so basically you're then getting percentages and tracking that all the way through. And as you know, when we do events, on average, people, they get such value at the event, they do want to do more with us. And on average, each person that comes through is worth over $1,000. And then they then get much more value by being part of it too. So by just directing people in and saying, look, just try it out for yourself and see how you feel about it, you're going to see your own earnings go up all the way through the next 6 months off the back of this as well, right? So whether you're a partner, whether you're a sponsor, this is what you'll see. In addition, we are showing you the launch funnel of how we design what is the $3.5 million promotion. So if you think about this, we know we're going to be giving away at least 20%, which means we've got $700,000 we want to be paying out to all of our partners and sponsors. And then this really is our big focus over the rest of this year as we're running events, as we're running all of our, building our communities, for people to really know that this is the place to be thinking about 2020 and beyond. And I wanted to share this because it was kind of fun. This was basically a picture of our whiteboard, which you can actually see right behind me, right? Where basically we actually mapped out the whole thing and said, well, how are we going to really make sure we're giving massive value to everybody and giving people a way for them to be excited about the beginning of this coming year. So this here, in summary, again, I'm going to go through in a moment, a summary of the whole idea of this global invitation. Before I do that, let me just take you back to the chat, right? So this one here, which is the chat. Let me just refresh this at the moment. This is where we are posting everything down. So you can see everyone's been posting at the moment. So Suraj has put the link down here already. So you can just follow that link, right? And actually be able to get connected up from this link here to read more about it, right? So I just click on that and I'm actually coming through here already, right? So hi to everyone we got here. We got Yvette in Perth, Australia. We got Cliff in South Africa. We got Danette in the USA. We got Jenna in Gold Coast. We got also like Jess here, who's there in Australia. Catherine, Margaret River, Sharon Morgan is here from US as well, Poland. So lots of great people here. Great to see everyone. Really, really awesome. So do follow that link if you're interested in that. And they're all in here. So there's a lot of posts at the moment. Let's go back here to a couple of things I just wanted to share again. And I'm going to kind of wrap this up and we'll come back and answer the questions here on for everybody. The first one is when you click on any of these buttons, it takes you back down to the bottom here, right? So you're missing all the information in the middle. So you might want to go back and read it again. But the most important thing here is this is a two-way street. On the one hand, by you getting all the same branding that we already have within our page, like this event page here, it gives people an understanding at this point. The way we do the events page is you'll see that each one of these I can link. So if I see Simon here, Crowd Property, I can click on this and it takes me straight through to Simon's website. So basically means that he's getting a direct link on everything. Everyone who comes to our page has the opportunity to connect up with him as well. At this point, when people come to the events, we also share, here's who our partners are. The difference of what we're doing with the 5.0 is it's much more than this. We're also going to have you in the citizen guide and also when people come in as a citizen with basically all of the different perks that someone gets. So when someone goes to their citizen card on their mobile phone, they can see all the things that they get. So if someone like, let's say, for example, Dashana, who runs Verve Rally, right? So I click on Dashana, you can see here, she runs these pretty awesome supercar holidays. You know, she says, right, you know, like I'm going to give $1,000 on someone who wants to come and join me on one of these great escapes. Then everyone who's a citizen will see that and go, wow, that's pretty interesting. And then we'll get a direct link in to be able to use that perk with Dashana. And we haven't done that before where there's a direct link in and people see all that value as part of it. And this is really the first step of us really making the citizen card super valuable. We're not opening up to just anyone to put perks on yet. We're doing it specifically for our sponsors because we want to test it out first and make sure it's working really, really well. But there is a real value in that because there's then measurable revenues that you're getting by business coming your way in addition to you getting percentage of the things that are coming our way. Right, so that's quite unique and quite different from the other things that we've been doing in the past. And of course, by you being on there, it's not just those who are part of this promotion who get to see you, it's all the people who are part of Genius U who get to see you as well, which has now gone over 1 million people. And by the end of this year, will be over 1.5 million, if not 2 million, that will be part of Genius U. So I just wanted to kind of mention that again. And obviously the sponsors will get the highest value and then the gold sponsors. And if you say, well, it's kind of ridiculously low for someone getting all of that coverage that's going out to over 2 million people, why would we make it that low? And it's because we already have got a precedent in the fact that when we have people getting 10 tickets to one of our events, we're already charging 290. And we said, well, look, we're not here to profit from our partners. So why don't we just set it at the same rate? So we know we're giving a really good deal. Everyone already understands it. And our bigger interest is how by us just seeing who wants to step up as a sponsor and play with us, you know, then is going to give us the ability to really make sure that we're making this a real success for you as well. So basically, that's how these two work. Like I said again, that if for any reason you decide sponsorship's not for you, we welcome you as one of our partners. And from what we've just shared, I really hope you're as excited as us about what's coming up. We have actually got this coming week. We just launched this here, which is our VIP page, right? You see this VIP page looks quite similar to the partner page we launched before. We've already got our first like 500 people on the VIP that have come in, and we only just sent out one email, and they're already coming in to basically get in before everyone else, right? And so this is just gone out to a very small group of our list, which are our VIPs. We are going to give the same pre-launch link to you, to be, as all our partners, to be able to send out to your community before we even do the launch. So like I mentioned, the launch is going to be happening on this day here, which is the 21st, right? And today is the 9th, right? So basically, we've still got another 12 days before the launch. And so over this next week, you're going to already be able to go out to your VIPs yourself and say, hey, do you want to come into this thing early? It costs them nothing, obviously, to be a part of it. And then that then is going to be adding goodwill to them as well. Final few things I just wanted to share here. The first one is this diagram. So this diagram here was put together by the Japanese government. It shows all of these different technologies, right? You've got ed tech, you've got like job tech, right? You've got like, you know, tour tech, auto tech, all of these different technologies that are coming up, all the biggest waves, linked to all of the different types of companies. You know, Citizen, they've written here, Startup, they've written here, and then the 17 United Nations Global Goals. This is the government now getting involved in the stuff that we believe in. This is so exciting, what's going to happen in the next 10 years. And you can see here the difference of what's happened in the division that the online world has been created, right? Knowledge, information are not shared, and cross-sector value is difficult to create. To IoT will connect all people and all things, right? And sort knowledge for us. You know, like overflow of information, work of finding and analyzing information is difficult and burdensome. You know, AI will free up humans from burdensome work and analyzing human data. It's like, these are the things that you've heard me talking about, that the governments themselves are now saying this is where the world's going. Not all governments, but certainly Japan, China, it's in the East where this is really taking off right now. And as you know, more and more, our focus is going to be how we bring the best wisdom from the East and bring it to the West as well. So this is where we are now heading, right? This is, as you said here, new humanism, because humanism is the basis of the last Renaissance. So we have this whole new Renaissance which is coming our way, which we're now all able to get behind and connect between the dots between what United Nations has laid out as a framework and the actual actions of how to do it. Here, another diagram which is coming from the Japanese government, which shows how we're going from economies of scale to economies of speed, where it's all about problem solving. Society first, right? It's from uniformity to diversity. It's from concentration to decentralization. You know, it's from high environmental impact to sustainability. So this is the world we've been waiting for, and it's now coming our way. So I just wanted to finish on that note. This is more than just Society 5.0. This is more than just Entrepreneur 5.0. This is Humanity 5.0. This is our ability in the next 10 years to truly transform this world in the way that it was meant to be transformed. We know this has been coming. You know, we've been talking about it for the last like decade. You know, for those of you who've been around with our work over the last decade, you remember that we created Vision 2020, right? And Vision 2020 was all about like where we'll be by the year 2020. So much has happened in the last decade that's led us to this point where we now have social media. We're now connected like never before. We're now more conscious that we're the ones we've been waiting for. And now we've got a framework that we can now be using with the technology, with the consciousness to now create this incredible next 10 years, and it starts right now. So that's why I've written here, it's time, right? This is our time. This is the very first step, 6 months before the beginning of 2020, to start prepping for it already. And we'll see the results of it before we even get to 2020 in the way we're redesigning our business so that we can also have the right insight, we can also have the right income, we can have the right impact. We've got measurable steps on each one of these different areas, and we're making sure our business is both high touch, high tech, where we're then transforming lives on a day-to-day basis. So that's it in a nutshell. I want to say a big thank you to everyone who's come and become a part of this. I hope you're excited about this as I am. We are pressing all the go buttons right now. I look forward to working with all of you who want to be our sponsors, and look forward to working with all of you who are our partners. Thanks very much, and we will catch up with you on the chat in the coming calls. I'll see you all later. Bye.